every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented.
The first time Robert Kennedy Jr. lied to Congress was last Thursday when Congressman Terry Sewell read that comment to him and asked, have you ever reparented or parented, should I say, a black child? To which Robert Kennedy Jr. said, I don't even know what that phrase means, and I doubt that I said it. Well, of course he doesn't know what the term reparented means because it's an insane term to use. And to say that he doubts that he said it is not perjury. So that one is not lying to Congress. It leaves open the possibility that he said it. But as Congresswoman Sewell pressed him on the point, he told this lie to Congressman Sewell, no, I'm not going to answer something that I didn't say. To which Congresswoman Sewell said, you absolutely said it. She ran out of time in her 5 minutes to play the recording of Robert Kennedy Jr. saying those exact words that she quoted and proving that he had just lied to Congress. The next day, Congresswoman Summer Lee asked Robert Kennedy Jr. about why, in the hearing the day before, he denied saying that every black kid needs to be reparented. And she asked him, you're going to rehome them? To which Robert Kennedy Jr. replied, no, I never said we should rehome them. Here is the truth of what Robert Kennedy Jr. said about where he would take the black children. He would move away from their parents and from their homes.
My Peace Corps program is going to be wellness farms, rehabilitation facilities that are going to start in rural areas all over the country, where any American can go for free, any of them who is dependent on drugs, either legal drugs or illegal drugs, psychiatric drugs, which every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You'll actually talk to people. And the model for this is a community that I had direct contact with because a family member of mine went there, and it's called San Padrigano's in Italy.
So his brilliant idea, which he equates to the space program, would be every black kid going not into space and not to Italy, like his rich Kennedy relative, but to wellness camps in rural areas across America. Those wellness camps would presumably be hundreds of miles away from New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, any urban area in America from which Robert Kennedy Jr. would move every black kid if his deeply perverse dream could come true. Does he think mothers would happily hand their children to him? Does he think fathers would just happily stand there and hand their children to him? Is there any parent of any kid anywhere in America who would willingly hand over a child to Robert Kennedy Jr., who, according to his own diary, stopped his car to cut off the penis of a roadkill raccoon while his children were watching so he could bring that penis home and study it? Robert Kennedy Jr.'s ease and comfort in lying to black women members of Congress is on display again today. This time, it was Senator Angela Alsobrooks' turn to confront the most deeply racist thing ever said by a cabinet secretary in our lifetimes.
Angela Alsobrooks is my mom.
I'm Angela Alsobrooks, and I approve this message.
No doubt, with her daughter Alexandria in mind, Senator Alsobrooks pushed Robert Kennedy Jr. to the point of lying about not knowing what a wellness farm is, even though it was his invention, and then cornered Robert Kennedy Jr. into telling the lie to Congress today that he has never believed that every black kid should be reparented on a wellness farm, which we all just heard him say.
Mr. Secretary, my next question. Now, you've had some trouble with the truth. I've seen it myself during your appearances before Congress. And as we all saw clearly during your exchange last week with Congresswoman Sewell, can you admit today that you said every Black kid can get reparented on a wellness farm? Can you admit that you said that?
Can get reparented on a wellness.
So let me read exactly what you said. You said every Black kid is now just standard, put on Adderall, on SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You know, you claimed, in fact, you went on to say, actually the whole transcript was even worse. You said that if you could, you would send, quote, every Black kid, again, your words, not mine, to go live on farms and work. Is that your...
I would have to hear that recording because...
Well, I have the recording.
I have no memory of saying anything like that.
Yeah, well, I actually have the recording that I can give to you, but it is absolutely what you said. And if you want me to play it, I can play it.
But if you ask me what my opinion is, I do not believe that every Black kid should be reparented on a wellness farm or whatever, and I have never believed that.
Well, you said it, sir. I have the video here. In fact,
I'm telling you, I don't believe it. That's not my vision for our country.
Well, I'm glad, because it was ignorant to say, it was dangerous, and it was irresponsible.
Well, if I said it, I apologize, but I'd have to see the transcript.
Joining us now is Democratic Senator Angela Alsobrooks of Maryland. What did it feel like to be in that confrontation with him today?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't the first. And so each encounter that I've had with Secretary Kennedy is probably more disturbing than the one before it. You saw with your own eyes, it was ignorant, it was deeply racist, it was disturbing. And it is, again, the reason why I was the first person to say back last year that he was wholly unqualified for the position that he's in. But we have people who listen to him. We have mothers who should be able to count on him for advice. And this is what he does. And so it was deeply disturbing to have yet another encounter with him where he had trouble admitting the truth, which we've seen as a pattern with him. I mean, you say a lie enough, then you begin to believe the lie yourself. And I think that is the case with him. He's told so many lies. He's so detached from reality in so many ways. But this is a very disturbing pattern that we've seen. His own uncle in 1976, these farms that he's talking about, he shut down one of those farms himself. And so this has been something, and he did so because they were medicating, and they were medicating these children in a way that was very dangerous. And so this has been something that was outlawed long ago, and it was just ridiculous for him to raise it today.
Senator, I know you have to run off to a vote. Your staff has told that too. But when he said to you, I have never believed that, that is a lie. We have the recording, and you have the recording of him believing that.
So he's delusional. If he said he never believed it, and we have the tape of him saying it, and he didn't say it 10 years ago, you should know he said this in 2024. So a person who said something that he never believed, and he said it, recently, it's disturbing. Again, it's a pattern. It shows us again why he's unqualified. You think about how horrifying it is that this man is in the cabinet of the United States as a Secretary of Health and Human Services, and it's outrageous, and he should be fired or removed from his position. He absolutely has no business in that position.
Senator, I know you have to run to the floor for a vote. Senator Angela Alsobrooks, thank you very, very much.